Hello there guys. So basically what I'm going to be explaining today is my current split on what I actually do and when I do it. So basically what I do is a full body split. So I go in 3 or 4 times a week and one day on, one day off, and I basically more or less do a full body routine. So for example, say if I go on Monday, take Tuesday, go in Monday, take Tuesday off, go in Wednesday, take Thursday off, go in Friday, take Saturday off, go in Sunday, and take the Monday off, go in the Tuesday. So it's basically 1 on, 1 off. You'll be doing 4 one week, 3 the next. This is basically just a really easy way. If not, just do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, take the weekend off. And they're the days I train, so 3 to 4 times per week. What you want to do during the time when you're in the gym is you want to start off with a main movement. And the way I always think about it is that I start with an upper body movement, then go on to a lower body or a posterior chain movement, and then go back up to an upper body movement. At the end, you can do it in any order. You can do lower body first. So for example, if you want to go in, start by squats or deadlifts, then move on to another exercise, you could do that. You could start off with bench press or shoulder press and then move on to another body part. What I wouldn't recommend doing, unless you can handle it, is doing squats and deadlifts in the same session. I find that quite intensive, and you're not actually able to pull off the same amount of weight, so the time you spend isn't actually effective. If you do such a split where you're doing squatting and deadlifting in the same session, but if you can do it and you can hack the weights and you can hack the percentages, then by all means go ahead. Well, me personally, I can't actually do that. If I squat heavy one session, I can't deadlift heavy in the same session. I can do a light deadlift, but I don't feel that's maximum. My back will feel fatigued by the time I want to do my next session in 2 days time. So on a Monday, I'll go in and I'll start off with the bench press, because that's something that I want to improve and I feel that I'm weak on. So I start off with the bench press and I do 3 sets. I then go on to do the squats for 3 sets, and then I go back up to do the shoulder press, and that's for 3 sets. And you can either do that with a bar, standing military press, or you could do a seated dumbbells. It's entirely up to you. Just do something for your shoulders. And that's that on Monday. Then on Wednesday I come in again and I'll start off with the bench press again. So I'll do bench press, but now I'll do deadlift second, and then I'll finish off with shoulders. Okay. Then what I'll do on a Friday is I'll do a bench press, and I'll go on to do squats. Then I would finish it. Possibly I wouldn't necessarily do shoulders for 3rd time that week. I might do some incline pressing, and that would be more or less it. So there are your 3 main lifts that you're going to be 4 main lifts. You're going to be doing bench press, deadlift, squat, and overhead press. So I bench 3 times per week at least. I squat twice at least. I deadlift once, and I overhead press twice as well. And basically what you want to do is at the end of the routine, so whether you've done squat and bench and overhead, or you've done bench, deadlift and overhead press, at the end of each day you want to go on to do some form of back exercise. So whether it's pull-ups, I personally do lat pull-down, you want to do bent over rows, you want to do T-bar rows, seated low pulley, anything. You want to do 3 sets of that, and then you also want to follow that with some bicep work, some bicep curls or some hammer curls, and you want to do them for 3 or 4 sets, either dumbbells or bar. It's entirely up to you. So I do that 3 times per week as well. So at the end of the workout I also add in lat pull down and bicep curls, and I do that every workout. I do that every workout. I don't miss that or alternate it. So in effect, you're basically benching every session, training back and biceps every session, and you're squatting for 2 or 3 out of 4 sessions, and deadlifting for 1 or 2 depending on how you want to do it. And yeah, the rep parameters that I actually use is I alternate from sets of 5. So this is the same for bench, deadlift, squat and overhead press. What I do is I do sets of 5 one day, so I'll do say 3 sets of 5 or 4 sets of 5 on the bench with a given weight, and then say that'll be on the Monday session. Then on the Wednesday session, say I'm doing bench press again, I won't do sets of 5. I'm more orientated towards strength, so I then do sets of 3, and I do that at a higher weight. So say for example I go in and I'm doing 60 kilograms for 3 sets of 5, say, and then on the Monday, and then on the Wednesday I come in and I'll do 65 kilograms for 3 sets of 3, and all reps I do are paused at the bottom and push off hard, make sure your form's good. And then and I just alternate between that. So Monday sets of 5, Wednesday sets of 3, Friday sets of 5, and then if you're going to work on the following Monday, then you're going to be starting off by doing sets of 3, then you're going to be doing sets of 5, then sets of 3, and you're just going to keep swapping between it, so you're never doing the same amount of sets. And say if you're doing 3 sets of 5, you might want to do, and it starts stagnating, you might want to do 4 sets of 5. Similarly, if you're doing 3 sets of 3, you don't feel the volume is up to scratch, you can also do more volume. So you can do 4 or even 5 sets of 3, depends on how good you are. When to improve the weight? Now this is a very important question. If you're going to improve the weight, increase the weight on each of the lift, say you can do 3 sets of 5, I wait until I can at least do up to the 3rd set of 5, and I can do that clean and a good strong press. And once I've reached that point where I can do 3 sets of 5 with a given weight, then I move that weight up, but I only move the weight up by 2.5 kilograms, and that's for the 3 sets of 5. And then when I'm on the 3 sets of 3, I'm doing that on 65, so I'm aiming for 3 sets of 3 for clean presses of 65 kg. When I achieve that, I'll move the day where I do sets of 3, I'll move that weight up by 2.5 kilograms. So you see how it works. So you work in sets of 5 one day, sets of 3 with different weights, and within that one, whenever you hit the recommended and the required range, so 3 sets of 5 or 3 sets of 3, you then move up the weight for the lift and for that day. So on a Monday, 3 sets of 5, you hit it, move you up to 62.5. You then do it on the Wednesday and you smash 65 for 3 sets of 3. So now your Wednesday session, you're going to be doing at 67.5. And this is a nice little way to constantly keep progressing. If at any moment you feel that you're stalling, so say, I don't know, you train for so many months and you get up to 3 sets of 5 and 80 kg, and every time you try and do 82.5 kilograms, it doesn't work for you. You can't progress. You always fail, and you can't do a set of 5. So what I do is I'd start slowly easing it in. So rather than going for 3 sets of 5 on 82.5 and ending up maybe doing a set of 4, a set of 3 and a set of 2, just do one set, and say you hit a set of 4 and you fail, okay, that's your attempt at 82.5, then drop back down to 80 and do 2 sets of 5, and slowly over time try and incorporate. So when you hit the first set for 5 and then you're trying the second set for 5, say if you fail that and you only hit 3, then drop the weight down to 80 for the last set. So you're constantly trying to progress eventually until you can do all 3 sets with 82.5 kilograms. In effect, like when I do it, if I miss a weight, I try and have a long rest in between the next attempt, and then I try and hit the same weight. If I keep continuously missing the weight for the amount of reps I need, then I will drop the weight down by about 2.5 kilograms, maybe even 5, depending on because you don't want your ego to get in the way of lifting, and you don't want your ego to actually make you say, yeah, I want to lift heavy. Because if you want to lift heavy, you have to do it with the proper form and technique. And if you're just lifting weight for show and your spotters racking the bar for you, then in effect you're not actually doing the work. And it's not necessarily cheating anybody, it's always kind of causing an illusion to yourself on how much you can lift. So when you don't have a spotter there and you try and rack the weight and you can't press, then it mentally messes about with your brain. So you always want to have a good clean mentality that you're doing the work and that your spotter is only there just in case you actually need him to help you if you go to failure and you can't punch the weight. So pick a suitable weight. But yeah, I do this rep scheme for bench, squat and overhead press. However, I don't do it for deadlift. For deadlift, I personally only do 1 or 2 sets with the given weight, and I don't actually push it past that 1 or 2 sets, and that's it. So I'll warm up, and when you're doing lots, warm up with all the exercises. And when you're warming up, it's important to note that you don't tire yourself out when you're warming up. So say if I was going to hit 70 kilograms for 3 sets of 5, and that's going to be my working weight on the bench press, or I'm going to attempt on a deadlift for just 1 set of 5, then what you do is you'd work that up slowly. So I'd start off with just a bar, I'd do 5 to 6 reps, I then would stick on 10 kilograms either side, that's 40 kilograms in total, and I would do that for say 5. Then what I would do is I'd hit probably say 60 or 50 for a single or a double, just for a feel of the weight. I wouldn't train to failure. Obviously you can do way more. If you're aiming to do 3 sets of 5 and 70, then you can easily do 3 sets of 5 on 60, but that's not the aim in a warm-up. It's just to feel the weight, to prime your nervous system. So now what you want to do is just do a single or a double on 60, and then finally hit 70. So that's the way you prime yourself. When you're warming up, you want to hit them heavier weights, so that when you actually do hit 3 sets of 5 on 70, it's not a total shock to your body, but your body's been prepared for it. But yeah, so that's the way you're going to actually alternate your rep ranges and also warm up prior to it, and do that the same for every exercise. But yeah, and that's more or less it. It's a full body split. You're doing more or less your full body, with the only variation being either you're doing squat or deadlift. If you can hack both, then by all means go ahead. But I find personally that for strength gains, it's actually better if you do them on alternating days, so on different days. You can add in stuff like calf raises and whatnot, and stiff-legged deadlifts for hamstrings, if you really want, or some more bodybuilding type exercises such as leg extensions or leg press for legs, if you want. Another important exercise which I do at least once a week are side delts, so side lateral raises, and also rear deltoids, so something like face pulls or bent over raises. You want to incorporate them on any day throughout the week. You just want to make sure you do 3 sets or whatever throughout the day. You won't really need to do any tricep work because of the sheer amount of pressing you are doing, I find. And I also have quite medium grip on my bench press, and also when I'm doing shoulders, so I find my triceps get quite a good pump just off the workout I'm doing. But if you'd like to add some triceps, or dips would be an excellent addition, or skull crushers. If they hurt your elbows, you could move on to some isolation such as tricep push downs and overhead tricep extensions, but it is entirely up to yourselves. But yeah, that's more or less it. I'll try putting in a link down below in the description box of my current split, and just a picture of it, just so you can follow that for guidelines. And make sure when you start this routine, you need to start with a weight relatively light. And if you're not used to bench pressing twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, because in effect you can maximally bench 4 times per week, squat 3 times, and deadlift once, and shoulder press 3 times as well, up to that amount. So if you're not used to that sort of volume, then perhaps ease it in, perhaps only doing this workout once or twice per week, and also slowly building it in. But yeah, but give me a thumbs up, let me know if you think my information is useful. Basically got most of this information from a friend online. I'm going to also link him down below. His name's Hayden. And but yeah, if you have any comments, feel free to question below. And yeah, I'm just a fat, friendly, bearded person who likes to lift weights just like everyone else. So all support is appreciated. Thank you.